fastest winds on Earth. They can appear out of nowhere.
You gotta go, buddy. You gotta really go.
Spinning at up to 300 miles per hour, these winds destroy everything in their path. The most violent tornadoes can grow to a mile wide and last for hours. Nothing is safe from an attack by nature's terrorist. Tornadoes are the most violent weather phenomena on Earth. McConnell Air Base, Kansas felt the full force of a tornado in 1991. The tornado traveled over 70 miles, was on the ground for nearly 2 hours and killed 17 people. It was the most powerful tornado in the United States that year. For 3 months every year, people across the Midwest of America live in fear of a tornado touchdown.
Yeah, go ahead, Chase 2.
But for one group of people, tornado season is when the action starts.
Chase 3, you read me?
Every spring, during the months of April, May, and June, teams of storm chasers take to the road. Their mission, to find and photograph a tornado. If the conditions are right, a tornado can form in an instant. When warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico meets cold, dry air channeled down from Canada by the Rockies, it's pushed high into the sky. The warm air cools as it rises, building huge thunderclouds. First, there's a deluge of rain. Then, more ominously, hail. Lightning cracks open the skies. Finally, if the storm is severe enough, a funnel bursts out of the foot of the storm and spirals to the ground. A tornado is born. They come in many shapes, from a long, twisted, thin rope to a fat, inverted bell. They may be as narrow as 50 yards or as wide as a mile. Most are weak. 20% are strong and 1% are exceptionally powerful. It's that small proportion of violent tornadoes that cause the most death and destruction. Tornadoes can happen anywhere in the world, but the most dangerous region is North America. Over 1,000 a year strike here. More than 1/3 of American tornadoes strike in an area known as Tornado Alley, which covers the states of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. The National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, Oklahoma, is conducting the most ambitious tornado research project in history. Scientists are working on Operation Vortex. During this 2-year project, they hope to unlock the secrets within tornado formation. Vortex leader Eric Rasmussen heads over 75 scientists, a dedicated team, the size of a tactical military unit. Going out on the road are 4 mobile weather stations, 5 vehicles loaded with the latest computer systems, mobile radar, and 3 video teams. It's not just scientists that chase tornadoes. Warren Fadley heads a small elite task force of storm chasers. He's a filmmaker who makes his living solely by filming severe weather. For the last 8 years, his International Severe Storm Intercept team has shot film on the front line of Tornado Alley.
It says sufficient cape and directional speed shear, which, the varying, will support isolated supercells and tornadoes in West Texas and portions of the outlook. So what I think we should do is probably pack up everything and get ready to head out that way within the next hour or so.
Today, Warren and his team are heading south out of Amarillo, Texas, toward Midland, Texas. Chasing tornadoes is a complex business. Because we don't really know why one severe thunderstorm spawns a tornado and not another, it's difficult to know which storm to chase. Although they can last for a few hours, most are over in a matter of minutes and travel less than 3 or 4 miles. But in those few minutes, they can destroy homes and take human lives. Successful chasing depends on luck, intuition, and a vast array of modern equipment. Warren Fadley is armed with the latest technology.
One of the most important pieces of equipment we have here is the weather computer. It allows me to get things like dew points and temperatures and wind speeds. And the nice thing about this is we have this information continuously as we're driving. We don't need to call into a weather service or find out. It's here all the time, which is really important. I also have 4 radios. We have 2 scanners, which will allow me to pick up the highway patrol or police or civil defense frequencies. We also have radios for communicating, which is a CB and a 2-meter ham radio. In the front here, I have a height camera, which is mounted on a bracket that I designed. And what this does is it gives me a shot out the front windshield, hands-free, so I can actually keep both hands on the steering wheel. Connected to it is a color television monitor, which lets me see what the camera is doing, and also I can use this as a television to get weather reports from local weather stations. And I also keep a cell phone, which is on roam. From almost any location I can call in a report, or someone can reach me if they have to, if there's an emergency. So this is a real gem to have out here when we're traveling.
Tornadoes are capable of the most bizarre behavior. They can carry away whole houses or transport a jar of pickles 25 miles without breaking it. One plucked the feathers off a chicken, leaving the naked bird alive. Wind speeds within a tornado can exceed 300 miles per hour. At those speeds, the mayhem they cause is unbelievable.
It's really hard to imagine the damage that a massive tornado does. I've seen cars that look like they were put through a shredder. I've seen foundations where houses were just completely clean. Nothing, not even a nail left in the concrete. It is really amazing what a tornado can do. I've seen cars with the sides of them pelted. Looks like someone took a machine gun and shot the sides of a car. I've seen large oak trees reduced to just a stump with little rocks and pieces of debris stuck in the trunk.
At the Institute for Disaster Research in Lubbock, Texas, they use high-speed film to show the damage a tornado can cause. In the real world, nothing is safe from its phenomenal power. In as little as 10 seconds, whole lives and communities are changed forever. Once thriving towns are blown away. The ground looks like it's been blasted by a nuclear bomb. For the survivors, it's an unforgettable experience.
We ran to the paved area underneath the overpass and started running up toward the wedge, and by that time the wind was so strong that I just spread eagle on the concrete to create the lowest profile. All the cars that had pulled in and parked under the overpass had been blown and were stacked up on one another. And I started looking for my automobile, and I found it a quarter of a mile down the expressway in this condition.
This was the bank. 7 of us employees went into the vault, and we knelt on the floor, and we could hear this roaring sound. And then all of a sudden, we just felt like we was going to explode, and our ears needed popping. So we stayed there for a while till everything got quiet, and then we got up and we looked out, and we just couldn't believe what we saw, because there the cars that were in the parking lot were now in the bank's lobby, and there was no bank left.
Witnessing a tornado's destructive power is a sobering experience.
The first time I ever went tornado chasing was in May of 1987, and it just so happened that I ended up in this town called Saragossa in West Texas, which was literally destroyed by this horrific tornado. And in a way that was good, because what it did was it showed me the tragedy of what I was chasing, what I was so eagerly after. All of a sudden, you know, I was out having fun chasing tornadoes, and a fun thing, and here I end up in this town that's just completely destroyed by a massive tornado. So it was good because it humbled me, and it showed me that what the very thing I was chasing could also cause massive destruction and death.
Here, when the first storm was already up.
Pretty far north.
Yeah, way far north, up into Oklahoma.
The best defense against a tornado is to know exactly where it is. Until recently, tornado warnings came too late and left no time to escape.
All up in here, all north of Amarillo initially.
Now, scientists use the latest generation of radar to pinpoint areas of severe rainfall and high winds. They hope to detect tornadoes forming 30 minutes before they touch down. From the 100,000 thunderstorms that strike the U.S. every year, only about 1,000 spawn tornadoes. Of these, about 20 take the most lives. The scientists' goal is to isolate those 20 or so killer tornadoes and put a watch out 2 to 6 hours ahead.
308 Delta FC, this was a fairly narrow and fairly isolated cloud that went up. It may have turkeyed by now.
Eric Rasmussen and his Vortex team head north out of Norman towards Emporia, Kansas.
Excellent. Thank you. Let us know when you get to 300.
Covering a much wider area, a research plane scans for promising storms. Rasmussen stops the Vortex team at a gas station where he considers his options.
South Haven. Oh. Probe 3, are you over South Haven or are you here at the Interstate?
He sends a probe vehicle further north to take readings.
North of Wellington on Highway 81 out of South Haven.
The chase area is so vast that finding a tornado is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Upper 62 points in the region, resulting in moderate instability with LIs -5.
It's a tough moment for Rasmussen. The storm that he's been tracking is losing strength, and the latest readings from the research plane show good storm conditions 300 miles south.
Yeah, there's some drizzle. Visually, it's very low stuff. It's not convection.
His dilemma is, does he chase after a new storm over 4 hours drive away, or wait for things to improve where he is now?
Straight south from the low through through Clinton, not Clinton, East Weatherford down to Wichita Falls.
Before deciding, he orders the nearest mobile weather station to send up a weather balloon. This will tell him if there's any chance of a tornado forming from the weakening storm.
What information do you want when?
Well, give me a call at 700 and then we'll talk again at 300.
Roger.
As the data from the balloon begins to transmit back, the signs are not good. Team member Les Scholl interprets the readings.
Shear profile might be getting a little better.
Although it's a large and volatile storm, it appears to have peaked and is now nowhere near powerful enough to generate a tornado.
There's a little sort of weak inversion from 700 millibars that really doesn't give you much acceleration.
That sounds pretty similar to what Inco was showing.
Rasmussen has no choice but to order the team to head for the new storm system 300 miles away. As they reach the new storm area, conditions are perfect. This is a dangerous time. A tornado could appear at any second. Rasmussen has to make sure he's not in its path. The rule is, if you're within 1 mile of a tornado, then you are in extreme danger. Today's chase could go either way. But in 1981, Rasmussen and his team came within yards of their quarry when a tornado passed right in front of them, nearly killing them all.
Rain or hail curtains wrapping extremely rapidly right at 11:30, right ahead of us, and very dark ahead. And maybe we'll have better visibility in just a second. We're driving into a strong mesocyclone. Okay, now be real careful, Neil. Slow it down. This would be where we drive right into the tornado, so be very, very careful.
CG.
Rapid circulation, right overhead. Slow down, Neil. Stop. Rapid circulation. About 1/2. Debris! Debris! Tornado! Passing right in front of us.
Today, the Vortex team is out of luck, but the data it's collected is priceless in the war against tornadoes. Over 2,000 miles away, Warren Fadley's team isn't having much luck either. But there's still a chance of finding a tornado, providing Fadley can get an accurate forecast quickly enough.
Thing here requires so much equipment now to get this to work. You got to have the computer, the modem, you got to have an interface between the cell phone, and at the same time the cell phone's got to work, and you've got to have an absolute perfect connection. So the problem is you get out here in a lot of these remote locations, it's real touchy. If you don't get the absolute perfect connection, you won't get the data, but this is great we got in here today. Once we get around 3:30, which I call like the sweet hour, that's when things usually begin to happen for the good or the worse. Either you see the atmosphere looks stabilized, or what we call capped, and nothing's going to happen, or it begins to show signs that convection's occurring, that you have rising air and you have clouds forming like we see out here right now. That's what you want to see. So today looks good. When you have clouds rising like this, you know that there's a possibility. There's no guarantees, but you know that there's a possibility that something might happen. And this is what you begin to look for.
It's getting tense for Fadley. Tornado chasing is expensive, and every day without one is costing him money. He picks his spot. Now, all he can do is wait and hope. It's too late to go anywhere else.
There's a front, a very weak cold front, that may be retreating as a warm front. And we can tell because when we were traveling down the road, the temperatures about 20 miles down the road were in the high 80s, and now we've dropped down to the 70s on this side of it. So we know we've got a boundary there. And also, the clouds are beginning to start lifting. The updrafts are beginning to merge, and out here we have a really substantial area of updrafts which are starting to grow together. And hopefully what will happen is they become strong enough to go up through the cap or the inversion, and then you'll maybe have a storm.
As the minutes tick by, it's looking like Fadley is out of luck.
The clouds we were looking at earlier looked like they might do something. They were starting to rise up and it really looked good, but I think we've lost probably the sun heating of the day and the timing of a few other things, and it looks like we probably won't have a storm today, but there's always tomorrow. So we'll just, you know, kind of take this time to get some other things done and get an early start tomorrow. Of course, just as I say that, the fist of God goes up over there. That's just the way it works, you know.
This is what every chaser is after, to face the demon head-on and capture it on film. 6 tornadoes surrounded one storm chaser outside Amarillo, Texas. It's an event that's never been filmed before.
I don't think that cloud cover goes much further than just the edge there. I think that's it.
2 days later, Warren Fadley is on the road again.
Yeah.
And present a severe storm potential too.
Yeah, see, they've moved that a lot further east.
All the way to New York and Pennsylvania today, the western parts of those states.
Today, there is definitely something in the air.
We're scurrying from tornadoes overnight.
Yeah, right.
Into Del Rio. Actually, that's again the coldest weather is. So for today, we're looking at a severe threat from Rio.
We have to go south. We can look at it again later.
Okay, tear it down?
Yeah, tear it down. We're going to go south. Well, right now we're going to head south, try to get out of the cloud cover. There's a thick cloud layer over us right now. We want to get out of that so we can see what's going on to the south of it. It still looks like a good day. We've just got to be able to get out of this cold air too. So the plan right now is just to head south and cross our fingers.
Here, the conditions begin to look right for a tornado.
I got the computer to work. The dew point is 6.9. Repeat, 6.9.
Suddenly, from out of nowhere, a tornado touches down and races towards the chasers.
Yeah. Lots faster, Lots faster, Greg. It's catching us. You gotta go, buddy. You gotta really go.
They try to outrun it, but the tornado is gaining on them.
We want to jump out.
Up ahead lies their only hope of safety.
That's good. We gotta get in the ditch.
They run for cover under a freeway overpass.
Get up under the girders. Is that where we want to go? Yes.
They lead a terrified family to safety under the bridge.
Underneath the girders. Keep rolling, Ted. It's coming at us. Keep rolling. Come here. Hang on, you'll be fine. Hang on to the girders.
Don't worry about it. Hang on, sir.
I got you.
Now what are you doing?
Hang on, Ted. I got you. Hang on. You're all right.
No one is hurt. This time, they are lucky.
It's incredible. It goes all the way up to the sky. It's going right for the next overpass. It may miss it to the right. There are 7 or 8 trucks, as well as a dozen or so cars, and it's heading right for them.
But with tornadoes, there's always a next time.